Hi, let us look at the solution to 2025 WAEC Mathematics OBJ. Like I often tell students, the goal of familiarizing yourself with past questions like this is to orient yourself on how your examiners perturb their question. And doing this, you will have an edge over students who just know the topic. So the first question of 2025 WAEC OBJ says, the volume of a cone of height 18 cm is 8,316 centimeter cube. Find the base radius of the cone. Take pi to be 22 over 7. You want to remind yourself what the volume of a cone is. The volume of a cone is given as 1 over 3 the area of a cylinder, pi r square h. We are given the volume as 816 1 over 3 pi as 22 over 7. We're looking for the radius and we're given the height as 18. 3 can cancel 18 6 times. And so we can have 8316 times 7 equals 22 times 6 is 132 r square. Since we're looking for r, we divide both sides by 132. So r square gives 8316 times 7 over 132. And if we multiply this, we get 58,212 over 132. This gives 441. And arrow is, you take square root of both sides. This is 21 cm, which is A. A square has diagonal length of 10 cm. Find the perimeter of the square. You know, if this is a square, the perimeter of a square is simply the distance round the square. So if this is the length, square have 4 equal sides. So these are L, L. So we are looking for the sum of this length. And if we sum it, it's simply 4L. That's the length. But we are given that the diagonal length is 10 cm. This is 10 cm. We know that this angle is angle 90. For us to get this length and this length, we can use Pythagoras theorem, since this is a right angle triangle. And you know from Pythagoras theorem that this square plus this square should give this diagonal square. So from Pythagoras theorem, L square plus L square should give 10 square. L square plus L square is 2L square. And 10 square is 100. We can divide both sides by 2. And L square is 50. So at this point, I take square root of both sides. So I have my L to be square root of 50. But you ask yourself, what is the largest perfect square in 50? It's 25. So I can split this as 25 times 2. And I can take the square root of the product of individual term. So this is square root of 25 times square root of 2. Square root of 25 is 5 times root 2. So this is the length of one of the sides. To get the perimeter, which is known is 4L. Perimeter is simply the distance around the square. Since each length is 5 root 2, it will be 4 times 5 root 2, and this will be 20 root 2 cm, which is C. The height of 4 orange seedlings are 2 cm, 5 cm, 7 cm, and 10 cm. Calculate the variance. You want to recall the formula for variance. which says summation of x minus x bar all square over n, where x bar is the mean of the data. And so we need to find what the mean is first before we find the variance. You see, we just have few data here, so we don't have to add f. Otherwise, it will be summation of f of this over summation of f. And so the mean is simply summation of x over how many data are there, which is 2 plus 5 plus 7 plus 10 over their number 4. 2 plus 5 plus 7 plus 10 is 24 over 4. If we divide this is simply 6. So the variance will be x minus this 6 all square plus 5 minus the mean all square plus 7 minus the mean all square plus 10 minus the mean all square. Everything over how many they are, which is 4. 2 minus 6 is minus 4 all square plus 5 minus 6 is minus 1 all square plus 7 minus 6 is 1 square. 10 minus 6 is 4 square. Everything over 4. So we have minus 4 square is 16. Minus 1 square is 1. 1 square is 1. 4 square is 16 over 4. 16 plus 1, 17 plus 1, 18 plus 16, 34. We have 34 over 4. And 34 over 4 is 8. Remainder 2 into 20 is 5. So the answer is C. Two towns, X and Y, are located at points -2, -5, and 3, 7, respectively. Calculate the distance between the two towns. So there's a formula for calculating the distance between 2 points on the coordinate axis. And that formula says distance is simply the square root of x2 minus x1 all square plus y2 minus y1 all square. So we can decide to call any of these x1 or y1. So if this is x1, this is y1, this is x2, this is y2. And so when we substitute, we get what the distance is. So upon substitution, s2 is 3 minus x1 is minus 2, and minus minus is plus square, plus y2 is 7, y1 is minus 5, minus minus is plus, plus 5 all square. And so 3 plus 2 is 5 square, 7 plus 5 is 12 square. If we take this, 5 square is 25 and 12 square is 144. If we add this, 25 plus 144 is 169. And so this is 13 units, which is C. Given that s to power minus n or to power 4 equals 1 over s to power 6, find the value of n. We simply apply the law of indices here. And from this, we know that if an indices is raised to another power, we use the product law such that this will be s to power minus n times 4, which is minus 4n. And we can also rewrite this from laws of indices as s to power minus 6. So this and this are equivalent way of writing the same thing. From laws of indices, we know that if the base are the same, their powers have to be the same. So we have minus 4n must equal minus 6. So you divide both sides by minus 4. And so n is minus cancel minus. 2 here is 2. 2 here is 3. Simply 3 over 2, which is C. Sub 1 third k minus 4 minus half k plus 1 less than 1 over 6. So we are looking for the value of k that makes this fraction less than 6. What we can easily do here is to find what the LCM is and multiply through. And easily we see that the LCM is 6. So we multiply through by the LCM, multiply through by the LCM, which is 6. We'll have 6 multiply 1 over 3 k minus 4 minus 6 multiply 1 over 2 k plus 1 less than 6 multiply 1 over 6. 3 can go into 6 2 times. 2 can go into 6 3 times. 6 can go into 6 once. And so we now open the bracket. This is simply 2 into k minus 4 minus 3 into k plus 1 less than 1. To open the bracket, 2 times k is 2k. 2 times minus 4 is minus 8 minus 3k minus 3. Don't forget it minus less than 1. So we collect like terms. 2k minus 3k is minus k. So this is minus k, and minus 8 minus 3 is minus 11. Minus 11 less than 1. We take minus 11 to the right hand side. So we have minus k less than 1 plus 11. And so minus k is less than 1 plus 11 is 12. So now you divide both sides by minus 1. You know, when you divide an inequality by a negative number, the inequality symbol changes so that k will be greater than minus 12, which is D. In a class of 42 students, 21 offer history and 28 offer government. If each student offers at least one of the two subjects, find the probability that a student selected at random from the class offers government only. An easier way to start this problem is to draw the Venn diagram. And if we draw the Venn diagram, this is the Venn diagram. Let this represent those that studied government. We are told that there are 28 of them. And let this represent those that study history. We are told that there are 21 of them. And let this represent those that studied both subjects, which we don't know. Let us call it X. So those that studied government only, which we are much interested in, will be 28 minus those that study both. And those that study history alone will be 21 minus those that study both. Since at least each student offers one of the two. Now, let's find S first before we think of finding the probability of those that offers government only. The total student in the class is 42. So the universal set should have a total of 42. So if we sum this, we should get 42. 28 minus x plus 21 minus x should give 42. So this is how we find what x is. This x can go with this. 28 plus 21 is 49. So we have 49 minus x equals 42. And subtract 49 from both sides. We have minus x equals 42 minus 49. Minus x will be 42 minus 49 is minus 7. So that both side by minus 1. X is simply 7. Those that study government only will simply be 28 minus 7, which is 21. And so probability of those that study government only will be those that study government only over the total number of students in the class, 21 over 42. And this can go here, 1 over 2. And this leaves us with C. Consider the following statement. P says the weather is warm. Q says the sun is shining. Which of the following correctly represents the statement the sun is shining if and only if the weather is warm? Just to refresh our memory about truth set, you know, this stands for or, this stands for and, this stands for if, then, and this stands for if and only if. So the sun is shining, which is Q, if and only if, which is this, the weather is warm, which is P. There's another one called not. This is not. So the correct answer for this is D. Just to help you interpret the others, this means the weather is warm if and only if the sun is not shining. The weather is not warm if and only if the sun is not shining. The sun is not shining if and only if the weather is not warm. And this is the sun is shining if and only if the weather is warm. The bearing of F from G is 0.64 degrees. This is what we call three-digit bearing. What is the bearing of G from F? One of the key in answering bearing problem is using this word from. So you want to start your bearing construction from this from G. So we start with this. Since this is 64 degrees and it's coming from G, we know it will emanate from G. And so if this is G, this north, south, east, west. And we know this is where 90 degree is. Since it's coming 64 degrees from G, we know this is where it will come out from. So this is what it will be. This north, south, east, and west. And so this is F. Since we are given that this is 64 degrees because we measure bearing from the true north, the bearing of G from F will be from this true north to this line. From alternate angles, if this is 64, this is 64 also degrees. And we know this is angle on a straight line, which is 180 degrees. So the bearing of G from F is simply 180 plus 64 degrees, which is 244 degrees. And that's C. Ajoke will be 31 years in X years' time. If Ajoke is 6 years older than Chioma, Find the expression for Chioma's present age. I mean, this is an interesting question. This is how you want to start. Ajoke will be 31 years in SES time. Let's say Ajoke's age is A. Let Ajoke's present age be A. So in SES time, Ajoke will be 31 years. In SES time, Ajoke plus the SES time will be 31 years. That means Ajoke's present age is simply 31 minus X. Now, it went on to say if Ajoke is 6 years older than Chioma, we don't know what Chioma's age is, but what we do know is Ajoke is 6 years older than Chioma. That means Chioma's age is subtracting 6 years from Ajoke's age because Ajoke is 6 years older than Chioma. So Chioma's age is simply subtract 6 years from Ajoke's age. 31 minus X minus 6. So 31 minus 6 is 25 minus X. So this is what Chioma's present age is, which is A. Simplify root 200 minus root 72. So this is a problem under solved. And what you want to do here is you want to factorize each of these terms such that the largest perfect square is inside. So if you look at 200, the largest perfect square that is inside is 100, such that we can put this as square root of 100 times 2. Likewise, the largest perfect square is 36 times 2 is 72. Because you could times 4 by 18 here, and 4 is a perfect square, and 9 by 8 here, 9 also a perfect square. So you want to consider the largest perfect square. So this can be written as square root of 100 times square root of 2 minus square root of 36 times square root of 2. Square root of 100 we know is 10 times square root of 2 is root 2 minus square root of 36 we know is 6 times square root of 2. And so now they are now in the same factor, root 2. So we can subtract 10 root 2 minus 6 root 2 is simply 4 root 2. And the answer is B. Thank you for watching. Question 12 of 2025 WAEC Mathematics OBJ is simplify 2 whole number 1 over 3 plus 5 over 2 minus 1 over 12 minus 11 whole number 3 over 4. So you want to simplify the numerator, simplify the denominator, and then divide. So for the numerator, we convert this mixed fraction to improper fraction, it will be 3 times 2, 6, plus 1, 7 over 3, plus 5 over 2, minus 1 over 1. The LCM here is 6. 3 into 6 is 2 times 7 is 14. 2 into 6 is 3 times 5 is 15. 1 into 6 is 6 times 1 is 6. This is 29 minus 6, which is 23. So we have 23 over 6. Now for the denominator, we have 12 over 1 minus 4 times 11 is 44 plus 3, 47 over 4. And the LCM is 4. 1 into 4 is 4. 4 times 12 is 48. 4 into 4 is 1. 1 times 47 is 47. And this is simply 1 over 4. Now, if we put both of them together, this will be numerator 23 over 6 divided by 1 over 4. And so if we change division to multiplication, we'll have 23 over 6 times 4 over 1. 2 here is 2. 2 here is 3. 23 times 2 is 46 over 3. Now 3 into 4 is 1, remainder 1. Into 16 is 5, remainder 1. So this is 1 over 3. And is B. Given that x plus y is 1 and x plus 3y is 5, find the value of x squared plus 4xy plus 3y squared. One could choose to solve this simultaneous equation, then find what x and y is, and then substitute this, and you will get the answer. But that will be a long journey. A quick way of solving this is to factorize this and then substitute what this is, because obviously the product of these two is simply this. Let's see. If we factorize x squared plus 4xy plus 3y squared, remember how we do it. We multiply this first term with this last term, and then we look for two numbers such that the product will be this product of these two, which is 3x squared y squared, and their sum will be 4xy. The two numbers that come to mind will be xy and 3xy, because xy times 3xy will be 3x squared y squared, and xy plus 3xy will be 4xy, right? And so for us to factorize this, in place of 4xy, we put xy and 3xy. So this will be x squared plus xy plus 3xy plus 3y squared. X is common. We're left with x plus y. 3y is common. We're left with x plus y. And so x plus y is common. We factorize it. So we have x plus y. And we are left with x plus 3y. Now we are told that x is 1 and x plus 3y is 5. And 1 times 5, simply 5. So that our correct option is B. Write 0.0364891 in 3 significant figures and express the answer in standard form. What does standard form mean? To express a number in standard form simply means to put it in this form: a times 10 to the power n, where a is a number between 1 and 10, 1 and 10 exclusive, and n is an integer. So, and to write this in 3 significant figures, by significant figure we mean the first digit that is non-zero. So the first significant figure is the first digit that is not 0, which is 3. So from this 3, we start counting significant figures. So this is the first significant figure, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. We are interested in 3 significant figures, which means 1, 2, 3. So we have 0.036. This third one, you have to check if the subsequent figure is 5 and above. If it is, we round up and add it to here. So this will become 5. So this is the correct three significant figure. But this is not where it stops. He said we should express our answer in standard form. So we have to put it in this form. So we take it 1, 2, such that this is where it is between 1 and 10. So it is 3.65 times 10. How many times do we move? 2 times. We move from left to right. It's negative, so minus 2. And so the correct option is D. The radius and height of a circular base cylinder are 8 cm and 40 cm respectively. Find its curved surface area. So if this is a cylinder, this is the radius and this is the height. Radius is 8 cm and the height is 14 cm. We're asked to find the curved surface area. It's just for you to recall the formula for curved surface area of a cylinder. Curved surface area is simply 2 pi arrow h. And so 2 times, we are asked to take pi as 22/7. Our radius is 8 and our height is 14. 2 times 22 is 44 times 8 times 14/7. If we times this and divide, we will get 704 centimeter square. An interior angle of a regular polygon is 150 degrees. How many sides has the polygon? So we want to recall the relationship in a regular polygon. So if this is a regular polygon, one of the things we know is that the interior angle and the exterior angle form a straight line. That is angle in a straight line. So if the interior angle of a regular polygon is 150 degrees, the exterior angle, you know, from angle on a straight line is 180. Is 180 minus 150, which is 30 degrees. Having gotten this, we now recall that number of sides can be gotten as the sum of the exterior angle of a regular polygon over one exterior angle. That means sum of the exterior angle over one exterior angle. The sum of the exterior angle of a regular polygon is 360, just like the sum of the interior angle of a regular polygon is n minus 2 times 180. So it is 360 over. Now, one exterior angle we have seen is 30. This is how we get number of sides. And so if we divide this is just 12 sides. So that regular polygon must have 12 sides, which is C. Solve d squared minus 4d minus 96 equals 0. This is just quadratic equation, and we have so many ways, at least 4 ways of solving it. Let's use factorization method here. We look for two numbers such that when you multiply it, you get minus 96. And when you add it together, you get minus 4. That's the coefficient. And so two numbers such that the product is minus 96 and the sum is minus 4. Two numbers that come to mind will be 8 and 12. Now, how do we put the sign? Since we have negative here, it tells us that one of these must be negative. So which should be negative? Since we have negative here, that means the negative will be on the bigger one, so that the smaller one minus the bigger one will give rise to a negative number. So this will be negative. So we substitute it here. Since the coefficient here is 1, you can easily write it as, open your bracket, d equals 0. Just put it plus 8 minus 12. So for this product to be 0, their individual term have to be 0. So d plus 8 equals 0, or d minus 12 equals 0. So if you take to the right hand side, d will be minus 8 and d will be 12. So our correct answer is C. The interior angles of a triangle are in a ratio 2 is to 5 is to 8. Find the difference between the smallest and the largest angles. So one thing you know about ratio is you have a set of numbers that when you reduce it to its lowest term, it gives rise to a ratio. So you cannot reduce it further. So let's say let x be the common term among all this. Let x be the common factor before division. So it means 2 times this x plus 5 times this x plus 8 times this x should give rise to 180, because you know that in a triangle, the sum of all the angles are 180. So this is 2x, 5x, and 8x. So we look for what s is. 2s plus 5s is 7s plus 8s is 15x equals 180 divided by 15, and we find that x is 12 degrees. Now, the largest will be 12 times 8, which is 96 degree. The smallest will be this 2 times, or 12 times 2, which is 24. So the difference is simply 96 minus 24 degrees, which is 72 degrees. And it is the interior angles of a hexagon are 107 degrees, 2x degrees, 150 degrees, 95 degrees, 2x minus 15 degrees, and 123 degrees. Find the value of x. Now, we know that the sum of angle of a regular polygon, sum of interior angles of a regular polygon is n minus 2 times 180 degrees. And a hexagon is a six-sided polygon. So n is 6. So for a hexagon, the sum is 6 minus 2 times 180, which is 4 times 180, which is 720 degrees. So the sum of these interior angles have to give rise to 720 degrees. Now we are asked to look for x. We simply sum this and equate to 720 and find what x is. So here we go, 107 degrees plus 2x plus 150 degrees plus 95 plus 2x minus 15 plus 123 equals 720 degrees. So let's sum. 107 plus 123 can be added easily. 100 plus 100 is 200. 23 plus 7 is 30. So 230. 95 minus 15 is 80. So 230 plus 80 is 310. 310 plus 150 is 410, 460, and that's all. So we have 4x plus 460 equals 720 degrees. Subtract 460 from both sides. 4x equals 720 minus 460. 4x equals, this should be 260. 260 degrees. And if I divide both sides by 4, s will be 4 into 26 is 6 times. Remember, 2 into 20 is 5. So s is 65 degrees. Two ball bearings have volumes 1.6 cm cube and 5.4 cm cube. Find the ratio of their surface area. Now, recall that the volume of a sphere is 4 over 3 pi arrow cube, and the surface area is 4 pi arrow square. We are told that the volume are 1.6 cm cube and 5.4 cm cube. So the first thing you want to do is to find the ratio of their radii. And if volume 1 over volume 2, this is equal to 4 over 3 pi arrow 1 cube over 4 over 3 pi arrow 2 cube. We see that this can go with this, and so their individual volume is proportional to the cube of their radii. And so volume 1 is 1.6 over 5.4 is proportional to arrow 1 over arrow 2 or cube. From laws of indices, we can factorize the cube out. So we want to find the ratio of their radii. So if we take cube root of this, arrow 1 over arrow 2, take cube root of both sides, arrow 1 over arrow 2 will give us 2 over 3. And so this is the ratio of their radii. Likewise, to find the ratio of their surface area. Their surface area, let this be area of 1, which is 4 pi arrow square, over area of 2, 4 pi, this is arrow 1, arrow 2 square. And so their surface area is also proportionate to the square of their radii. And so area of 1 over area of 2 will give us, since the radii is 2 over 3, from laws of indices, this is arrow 1 over arrow 2 all square, and we have gotten the ratio as 2 over 3 here. So the ratio of the surface area will be 2 over 3 all square. This is 4 over 9, and in ratio form it is 4:9. That is A. Given that 21 base 5 equals 14 base x, what's the value of x? So for us to do this, we convert both sides to base 10, and then find what x is. And how we do that is, this is 0, 1, 0, 1. We multiply this to the base raised to this power, then add. So this is 2 times 5 to the power 1 plus 1 times 5 to the power 0. This should equal 1 times x to the power 1 plus 4 times x to the power 0. 5 to the power 1 is 5 times 2 is 10. 5 to the power 0 is 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times x is x. X to the power 0 is 1 times 4 is 4. So this is 11. Subtract 4 from both sides. You have 11 minus 4 equals x. 11 minus 4 is simply 7. And that is the two consecutive odd integers are such that the sum of 5 times the smaller and 3 times the bigger integer is 222. Find the value of the smaller integer. So when we talk about consecutive odd integers, two integers that are close by, for instance, 3 is an odd integer, 5 is an odd integer, 7 is an odd integer. So two consecutive odd integer will be 3 and 5, or 11 and 15, or 17 and 19. So two consecutive odd integers are such that their sum, the sum of 5 times is smaller. So let the smaller be x and the bigger will be x plus 2. So if the smaller odd integer is 5, 5 plus 2 gives 7, give the next consecutive odd integer. Now, the sum of 5 times the smaller, so 5 times the smaller and 3 times the sum, 3 times the bigger is 222. Find the value of the smaller integer. So we are simply finding what s is. This is 5x plus 3x plus 6 equals 222. 5x plus 3x is 8x plus 6 equals 222. Subtract 6 from both sides. 8x will be 222 minus 6. 8x will be 222 minus 6 will be 216. So I can divide both sides by 8. X will be 8 into 21 is 2. Remainder, because it's 16. Remainder 5 into 56 is 7. So the smaller integer, odd integer, is 27. And then, of course, you know that the next one is 29. That shows they are consecutive. That is 27. Kwake, Sabina, and Owusu shared an amount of $12,000. That's a whole lot of money right there. Kwake had 20% of the amount. Let's start with this. Kwake's share simply 20% of $12,000. So this is how you solve this line by line. This is 20 over 100 times 12,000 over 1. This, and go with this. And 2 times 1,200 is $2,400. This is Kwakwe's share. Okay. And the remaining amount was shared between Sabina and Owosu. Let's get what the remaining amount will be. Remaining amount will be $12,000 minus Kwakwe's share. This will leave us with $9,600. And this was what was shared between Sabina and Owusu in the ratio of 5:3. We are asked to look for how much Sabina received. So Sabina is the one with the 5. And so Sabina's share was 5 over the sum of their ratio 8 times the remainder 9,600 over 1. 8 here is 1. 8 into 9 is 1. Remainder 1 into 16 is 2. 0, 0. So 5 times 1,200 is $6,000. So this was Sabina's share, which is C. The third and ninth terms of an arithmetic progression are 9 and minus 27 respectively. Find the fifth term. We know that an arithmetic progression is sequence of numbers that follows a pattern by a common difference. So they either increase or decrease by a common difference. Unlike geometric progression that either increase or decrease by a common ratio. And we know that the nth term of an AP is A plus n minus 1D, where A is the first term, n is the number of terms in that sequence, and D is the common difference. So we need to find what the first term and the common difference is, and with these tools, we can find what the fifth term is. So the third term is given as A plus 3 minus 1 is 2D. The cell is 9. And the ninth term, A plus 9 minus 1, 8D, we are told is minus 27. And so if we call this equation 1, equation 2, we can subtract equation 1 from equation 2. So 2 minus 1, if we subtract, this is gone. 8D minus 2D is 6D. Minus 27 minus 9 is minus 36. So if we divide by 6, we have that our D is minus 6. We can proceed to find what A is using equation 1. So from 1, A plus 2 minus 6 is 9. So A minus 12 equals 9. Add 12 to both sides. A is 9 plus 12, and this is 21. What are we looking for? We're looking for the fifth term. The fifth term, T5, is simply A plus 4D, 5 minus 1. And we have gotten A to be 21, and our D is minus 6. This is 21 minus 24. This is minus 3. And the answer is C. If 2 log 1 minus root x over root x base x equals 0, what's the value of x? This is very simple. And what you want to do first is to bring this to the power of this log. So we know that this is log 1 minus root x over root x to power 2 base x equals 0. You know we can convert logarithm to indices, and how we do that is this base to this power must give us this. So 1 minus root x over root x, we are guaranteed will give us x to power 0. And anything to power 0 is 1. And this is 1 minus root x over root x all square is 1. You can take square of both sides, square root of both sides. Give us 1 minus root x over root x. Square root of 1 is 1. If I multiply this, I have 1 minus root x equals root x. Take this to the right hand side, I have 1 equals root s plus root s is 2 root x. I can divide both sides by 2, so that my root x is 1 over 2. But what I'm looking for is x, not root x. So I take square of both sides to get my x as 1 over 2 square is 1/4. And that is B. A cylinder and a cone have the same volume. If the height of the cone is 24 cm, find the height of the cylinder. So if this is the cone, height of the cone is 24 cm. This is cylinder. We have to look for the height of the cylinder. So let the height of the cylinder be capital H. Since they have the same volume, you want to record the volume of a cylinder and volume of a cone. Volume of a cylinder is pi r square H, and volume of a cone is 1/3 volume of the cylinder, pi r square H. Since they are equal, we see that pi r square, let's call this capital H, was equal 1/3 pi r square H. R square can cancel r square, pi can cancel pi, and the height of the cone is 24. So the H we are looking for is 1/3 times 24. 3 here is 8. So the height of the cylinder is 8 cm. And that's B. That's the answer. A variable P varies inversely as the square of Q. If P is 5 when Q is 6, find Q when P is 1.8. So let's take it bit by bit. A variable P varies inversely as the square of Q. Inversely as the square of Q. So we can introduce the constant of proportionality. So P will be K over Q squared. We are told that P is 5 and Q is 6 squared. So our K will be 5 times 6 squared is 36. And 5 times 36. 5 times 30 is 150. 5 times 6 is 30. So K is 180. So we are asked to look for Q. P equals 180 over Q squared when P is 1.8. So Q squared will be 180 over 1.8. And so if I multiply numerator and denominator by 10, this will shift this point. So this can be, by removing this point, I add 0 here. So Q squared will be 18 into 1800 is 100. Take square root of both sides. Q is square root of 100, which is 10. And that's B. Factorize 3 minus 2x minus x squared. And for us to factorize this with minus attached to this x squared, it can be tricky. You just have to be careful with your sign. You know, you want to multiply the coefficient of this with this constant term, which gives minus 3, so that we look for two numbers such that their product will give minus 3 and their sum should give minus 2. That two numbers should be minus 3 and plus 1, because minus 3 times 1 is minus 3 and minus 3 plus 1 is minus 2. So in place of minus 2s, we substitute minus 3x and minus and plus x. So we'll have 3 minus 3x plus x minus x squared. 3 is common, 3, 1 minus x is common, plus x, 1 minus x. And so if we factorize 1 minus x at 1 minus x, you are left with 3 plus x. course, 3 plus x can be written as x plus 3, which is the, we are told that make arrow the subject of the relation 1 over p equals b over t plus c over r. So the first thing you want to do is to separate this from where arrow is. And so c over arrow will be 1 over p minus b over t. So if you simplify this, you get c over arrow, LCM is pt, and p here is t times 1. T here is p times this is pb. Now, since you have one term at the left hand side and one term at the right hand side, we can switch, we can invert. So arrow over c is equal to pt over t minus pb. And if I cross multiply, since I'm looking for arrow, this will become pct over t minus pb, which is a. In triangle PQR, QR is 2 cm, angle PRQ is 60 degrees, and angle PQR is 90 degrees. Find length PR. Whenever you see a right angle triangle with a side given and an included angle, what comes to your mind is trigonometric ratios. And this is adjacent, this is hypotenuse, this is opposite. So what we are interested in here is adjacent and hypotenuse. From SOHCAHTOA, you know this is K, adjacent over hypotenuse. So cos theta is simply adjacent over hypotenuse. But our angle is 60 degree. Cos 60 degree is adjacent, which is 2 over hypotenuse PR. We're looking for PR. So PR will be 2 over, what's cos 60? Cos 60 is 1 over 2. And so PR will be 2 times 2. This is 4 cm. That's what PR is. That's B. A sector of a circle of radius 21 cm subtends an angle of 120 degrees at the center. Find the length of the arc of the sector. Remember, if this is a sector is just part of the circle. So this is the sector. So we are told that it subtends 120 degrees at the center, and the radius is 21 cm. We are asked to look for this arc. This is the arc we're asked to look for. So we use formula for length of arc, which says the included angle over 360, which is angle at a point, times 2 pi r, perimeter of a full circle, because we're just looking for the perimeter of a fraction of the circle. So we just substitute 120 over 360 times 2 times 22 over 7 times 21. 120 can go 360 3 times. 3 can go 21 7 times. 7 can go 7, and 2 times 22 is 44. And so the length of this arc will be 44 cm, and that is C. The population of a town increases by 2% every year. After 2 years, the population is 83,232. Calculate correct to the nearest thousand the original population. What you notice here is a compounding effect. So we can invoke the formula of compound interest to solve this. Remember, in compound interest, if you want to find the amount that the principal will yield to, it is principal 1 plus the rate in percent raised to power number of years or the time. So we are given the amount, which is 83,232. The principal is what we are looking for, which is the initial original population. 1 plus rate in percentage is 2 over 100, which is 0.02. Raised to power the number of years, 2. To find P, we simply divide 83,232 by this 1.02 to power 2. And if you divide this, what you will have is 80,000. And from our option, the correct answer is A. A profit of 8% was made when an article was sold for $500. At what price should it be sold to make a profit of 16%? This is an interesting question, and if you understand percentage very well, you should be able to solve this. Let's start by looking for what the cost price is. And with that, we can find out other stuff. So let the cost price be X. One thing about percentage is we view the cost price as 100%. So if you want to get a selling price and you made a profit of 10%, the selling price is simply 110% of your cost price. That gives you your selling price. If you made a loss of 5%, the selling price will be 95% of your cost price. So this is how we add and subtract to get selling price depending on whether you made profit or loss. Now, a profit of 8% was made when an article was sold at $500. From what I explained, for us to get this selling price, it has to be 108% of this cost price. That should give us the selling price since we made profit. So our 108% of S gives the selling price $500. So for us to get what S is, 108 over 100 times X equals 500. So this is 1.08x equals 500. So we divide both sides by 1.08, and this gives us $462.96. So these are cost price. Now, from what I have explained, to find the price it should be sold to make a profit of 16%, it is simply 116% of this cost price. If it is to make a loss of 16%, it will be subtract 16 from 100%. It will be 84% of this cost price. That gives us the selling price. So new price is simply 116% of cost price, which is 116 by 100 times 462.96. And this is 1.16 times 462.96. This gives us 537.035, approximately $537.04. So this is the amount it will be sold for it to make a profit of 16%, which is A. The set M, which are those S such that X is greater than or equal to 2 and less than or equal to 6, and N are those S such that s is greater than or equal to 4 and less than or equal to 8 are subset of the universal set mu, which are those s such that s is from 1 to 10 inclusive, where s is an integer. Find m prime intersection n prime. To do this, we can use the law that says m union n all prime equals m prime intersection n prime. With this law, we can make our solution faster. And so let's list what m is. M are those sets from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and n are those sets from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And our universal set mu are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we first of all look for the union of m union n, which is the collection of the set m and n without repetition. So we start from 2 and we'll end at 8, which will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we now look for m union n complement, which is what we are looking for. You have to know this identity. And so the complement of this is simply those numbers you can see here that are now here. So it will be 1, 2 is here, up to 8, 9, and 10. So these are the collection of m union n prime, which is the same as n prime intersection n prime. And the answer is C. Given that sine x minus 46 degrees equals cos 62 degrees, find the value of x. For us to do this, we know a relationship that for x bigger than 0 and less than 90 degrees, there's a complementary relationship between sine and cosine, such that sine x equals cos 90 minus x and cos x equals sine 90 minus x. That's why you know that sine 30 equals cos 60, because they are complementary between 0 to 90. So this is what we use to solve this problem. It is much easier to convert cos s to sine s using this. I mean, we can still choose to convert sine s using this so that both will be in cos, but it will take much of our time. So cos 62 will have sine x minus 46 degree have to equal cos 62 from this relationship will be sine 90 minus 62. And if we do this, we'll have sine x minus 46 degree. 90 minus 62 is sine 28 degrees. And so for two sides of an angle to be equal, their angles have to be equal. So x minus 46 have to equal 28 degrees. So if you add 46 to both sides, we'll have s equals 28 plus 46. This will give 74. And that's C. Given that log 16 base 4 equals log 36 base y, find the value of y. Okay, we'll just apply the laws of logarithm and the laws of indices here to solve this problem. We see that this is log 16 base 4. We can put 16 in base of 4 so that we'll have log to the same base. And how we do that? This is log 4 square base 4 equals log 36 to base y. This is from laws of logarithm. The power can multiply the logarithm. And so we have 2 log 4 to base 4 equals log 36 to base y. And also from logarithm, the log of a number to its same base is 1. So the whole of this is 2 log 36 to base y. Now, at this point, we use the relationship between logarithm and indices. For us to move from logarithm to indices, this will simply be y to power 2 equals 36. So y to power 2 must equal 36. And to find what y is, take square root of both sides. Square root, so that y is 6, which is c. In this diagram, PMQ is 34 degrees, NQM is 28 degrees. Use the information to answer the questions 37 and 38. 37 says find QTN. QTN. That means you're looking for this angle. And what I usually tell my students is start from the angles you know. You want to ask yourself, from the angles you know, which other angles can you get? So, mere looking at this and this, I can easily get to here because the exterior angle of a triangle is the sum of the two opposite interior angles. So angle NPN is simply 28 degrees plus 34 degrees. The exterior angle of a triangle is the sum of the two opposite interior angles, which is 62 degrees. But what we are looking for is this angle here. And for us to get this angle, from this, I know what this is because angles on the same base are equal from circle theory. Angles on the same base. Just the way this is 34 degrees, this is also 34 degrees. Likewise, if this, which we have gotten, is 62 degrees, this will be 62 degrees. We call it angles on the same base. And if we know that this is 62, we can get what here is by subtracting it from 180 since it's angle on a straight line. So angle QTN we are looking for will be 180 degrees minus 62 from angle on a straight line, and that will give us 118 degrees. And the correct answer is D. Question 38 says find MPN. MPN is what we have gotten already. MPN. MPN is simply 28 degrees plus 34 degrees. The reason is exterior angle of a triangle equals sum of the two opposite interior angles. And that should give us 62 degrees, which we have gotten. And that's A. For what values of x is this rational function undefined? We know that a function is undefined if we have maybe a number x over 0 at the denominator. And so for this function to be undefined, it means the denominator has to be 0. So 2x plus 1 has to be 0. Subtract 1 from both sides, we have 2x equals minus 1. Divide both sides by 2, we have that x is minus 1 over 2. And the correct option is B. In the diagram, P, Q, R, and X are points on the circle with center O. Angle QRS is 5x degree and angle QOX is 6x plus 24 degrees. Find angle QPS. QPS. This angle. The first thing you want to do is to find what X is. And from circle geometry, this angle. From this angle, we can get this angle. Like I always say, start with the angle you know to get unknown angle. The angle here is just twice this angle. And so reflex angle QOX is simply twice, because angle at center is twice angle at circumference. This gives us 10x. And so if this is 10x and this is 6x plus 24, we know that angle at a point is 360 degrees. And so the sum of this and this should give 360. 6s plus 24 plus 10x should give 360 degrees angle at a point. It is theory, you are meant to be writing this down, but just to make it clear to you what we are doing. 10s plus 6s is 16s. Subtract 24 from both sides will be 360 minus 24. 16x will be 336. Divide both sides by 16. S will be 16 into 33 is 2 times. Remember 1 into 16 is 1. So S is 21. Now, what are we looking for? This angle, QPS. We know that opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary. These two angles are supplementary. What does that mean? It means if you sum this angle and this angle, it should give you 180. So Q arrow S plus QPS should give 180 degrees. And Q arrow S we have gotten as 5S, which is 21. QPS is what we are looking for, 180 degrees. 5 times 21 is 105. So QPS is 180 minus 105. This will give you 75 degrees. And the correct option is A. In the diagram, Q, R, S, and T are points on the circle of center O. Angle STR is 37 degrees and angle QRT is 59 degrees. Find angle SPR. Angle SPR. One of the things I have observed about circle theorem is that it's very easy if you have the theorems at your fingertips and if you have other theorems backing plane geometry. The answer is just staring at you in the face. The angle we are looking for is this P. And we simply know that this angle here is the sum of this angle and this angle. What's the reason? The exterior angle of a triangle is the sum of the two opposite interior angles. But we need to get what this angle is. How do we get this? It's from this. In circle theory, you start with the angles you know. So if I know this angle, what can I get from this? I can get this. These two angles are equal because angles on the same base are equal from the circle theory. So angle SQR equals 37 degrees. Angles on the same segment. And so since here is 37 degrees, from what I've explained earlier, angle P is simply this plus this. Angle SPR is 37 degrees plus 59 degrees. The reason is opposite angles of a triangle equals sum of the two opposite interior angles. Sorry, exterior angles. Exterior angles. So that will be, if we sum this, we'll get 96 degrees, which is B. John sold an article for 105,000 at a loss of 4%. Find the cost price of the article. Questions like this trick students a lot. And if you have a firm grip of percentage, You should be able to solve this in seconds. Yeah, I mean seconds. If you check question 33 that I solved, you will see that they use profit and it is the same idea. Now, when you see questions like this, what you have to do is, okay, let cost price be X. Usually, the cost price is assumed 100%. If you want to find the selling price and you are told that you made 10% of your cost price, the selling price is simply add the 10 to the 100% and find 110% of the cost price. That gives you your selling price. Someone is confused. I come again. If you make a profit of 5% and you are given the cost price, you want to find the selling price. The selling price is simply 105% of the cost price. Likewise, if you made a loss of 5% and you are given the cost price, the selling price is simply 95% of the cost price. That's the selling price. Now, for this, John sold an article for 105,000 naira at a loss of 4%. Find the cost price of the article. So we say let the cost price be S. Since he made a loss, that means 4% have been deducted from 100%. That is our usual cost price. So what we are simply looking for is 96% of our cost price X. That is what we give this selling price, 105,000 naira. This is how you solve it. And then this is how you get what S is. 96% is 96 over 100, which is 9.6. So this is 9.6x equals 105,000. Divide both sides by 9.6. And so your X is 100,800 naira. As simple as that. If you find this confusing, check the video I did on question 33. For question 43 and 44, we are told to use the information below to answer the questions. In the diagram, line X arrow is parallel to line UW. Angle WVT is X. Angle VUT is Y. Angle ROST is 45 degrees. And angle VTU is 20 degrees. Find the value of X. Plane shapes like this are easy, extremely easy. Once you know the theorems backing them up, we have to look for X and Y. How do we get this X? It's simply corresponding angles, because corresponding angles, they are equal. Why are they corresponding? Because these two lines are parallel. When you have two lines that are parallel, the angle here and the angle beneath here are equal. Likewise, the angle here, and if you extend this above, and the angle here are equal. We call them corresponding angles. And so X is simply 45 degrees. Reason, corresponding angles are equal. To find the value of Y, which is this, we have this exterior angle of this triangle. We know that this angle is the sum of this angle and this angle. That's the relationship we use to get it. So S is equal to Y plus 20 degrees. The reason is exterior angle of a triangle equals sum of the two opposite interior angles. And so we have gotten X to be 45, so that our Y will be subtract 20 from both sides, which is 25 degrees. And that's B. The first one is C. What is the gradient of the line 7x minus 5y plus 3 equals 0. You want to recall the formula for equation of a line passing through a single point. It is written as equation of a line passing through a single point is simply y equals mx plus c. And now we are given the equation to be this. What we simply do is to rewrite this in this format and find what m is. M is the gradient, c is the intercept, the y-intercept. So if we rearrange, we'll have 7x minus 5y plus 3 equals 0. So if I take this 5 out to the right hand side, I'll have 7x plus 3 equals to 5y. So I can divide through by 5. And so I have 7 over 5x plus 3 over 5 equals y. Since it's in this format, my m is simply 7 over 5 and my c is 3 over 5. But we are only interested in the gradient, which is 7 over 5. That's A. We are told that the Venn diagram illustrates the information about the set. P stands for pharmacist, C stands for smart people, F stands for my friends. Which of the following is a valid conclusion from the diagram? Now, if you observe, P, which is for pharmacists, is fully inscribed in C, which stands for smart people, and there's an intersection between pharmacists and my friends, and there's an intersection between smart people and my friends. So let's look at all this one by one. All pharmacists are my friends. This is pharmacists, these are my friends. All pharmacists are my friends. No, 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 no. This will only be true if this pharmacist is a subset of my friends. It's inscribed here. B says some of my friends are smart. Some of my friends, this is what represents smart people. Some of my friends are smart. That's true because these are some of my friends that are smart here. And so some of my friends are smart. Very true. So this makes sense. This is the correct option. Let's analyze C and D. All smart people are my friends. All smart people are my friends. No, no. This will be true if this smart people is inscribed inside all my friends, inside this circle. D say none of my friends is smart. None of my friends is smart. That's not true. This will be possible if there is no intersection between smart people and my friends. That means this circle is detached completely from this. So if we are to analyze this, we can easily say all pharmacists are smart people from this because pharmacists is enshrined in the smart people. So the correct answer is some of my friends are smart because part of the smart people is my friend. And truly, I have smart friends. I hope you too. For question 47 and 48 of WAEC Mathematics 2025 OPJ, we are told that the table below shows the ages of students in a class. Use the information to answer questions 47 and 48. Find correct to the nearest whole number the average age of the student and what is the median age. This is the frequency table that is given. And so you remember that if we are to find average, it is simply summation of fx over summation of the frequency. And summation of fx simply means multiplying this and summing it. 13 multiply 3 plus 14 multiply 14 plus 15 multiply 13 plus 16 multiply 8 plus 17 multiply 3. everything over the summation of this frequency. 3 plus 14 is 17, plus 13 is 30, plus 8 is 38, plus 3 is 41 over 41. So if we times this is 39 plus 14 times 14 is 196 plus 15 times 13 is 195 plus 16 times 8 is 128. 17 times 3 is 51. And so we divide this over 41. If we sum this will give us 609 over 41. And if we divide this, we will get 14.85. We are asked to approximate it to the nearest whole number. This will be approximately this up to 5 and above. Take it here, 15. And the correct option is C. For 48, we are asked what is the median age? To find the median age, we need to find the median position first. And since we have an odd number of frequency, our median position is simply n plus 1 over 2. The n plus 1 over 2. So what's our n? The number of frequency, 41. So this is 41 plus 1 over 2. This is 42 over 2. And so this is the 20 position. That's our median. How do we get the position? We start taking cumulative frequency. So 3 plus 14 is 17. 17 plus 13 is 30. And we are looking for the position. That means this is where our median class will lie. So our median age is simply 15, which is B. The angle of elevation of the top of a ladder PQ from its base Q 12 meters away from a wall is 36 degrees. Find correct to the nearest meter the length of the ladder. Let's sketch it. This is just simple application of trigonometry. So angle of elevation, it means we're talking about this length of the top of a ladder. So if this is where the ladder is rested on, this is the ladder. PQ, so P is here, Q is here, 12 meters away from its wall. This is 12 meters, is 36. You know, angle of elevation is this angle to the horizontal. Angle of depression is this angle to the horizontal. Your eye level is the horizontal. So this is 36 degrees. Find correct to the nearest meter the length of the ladder. So we're looking for this length. Let's call it L. And so from trigonometric ratio, we know the angle, we know adjacent, we are looking for hypotenuse. What comes to your mind from SOHCAHTOA will be cos, because cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. We are given the angle as 36, our adjacent is 12, and the length is what we are looking for. And so to get the length, divide both sides by cos 36, and that should give us 14.83. Approximately to the nearest meter is 15 meters, and that's C. A fair dice is thrown once. Find the probability of obtaining an odd number or a prime number. So you need to know what a fair dice is. A fair dice is not a dice that is fair, but a dice that have equal chance of occurrence, right? And you know, odd numbers that cannot be divisible by 2, and prime numbers are numbers that have only 2 factors, itself and 1. But note, 1 is not a prime number. So let's first of all list all the possible outcomes. Our sample space is the set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Odd numbers are simply 1, 3, 5, and prime numbers simply 2, 3, 5. We are asked to look for the probability of an odd number or a prime number. You have to be careful here. You know that all is plus, but since there is a common element in both of them, you have to use the rule probability of odd plus probability of prime minus probability of their intersection, odd intersection prime. And so, what is their intersection? Odd intersection prime is simply 3 and 5. So, the probability of odd or prime will be probability of odd is simply number of odd over number of possible outcome, which is 3 over 6 plus probability of prime, number of prime over number of possible outcome, then minus probability of odd intersection prime, which are just 2, 2 over 6. And so, since they have the same base, add and subtract the powers. So this is 6 minus 2 over 6, which is 4 over 6. And if we divide, we have 2 over 3, and which is C. Thank you for watching. If you are not like this video, please go ahead and like it, subscribe, share, and see you in my next series. Bye.